So we had a beautiful spring and the lilacs bloomed as they always do. I found this house when the lilacs were blooming 16 years ago, and I know it was a selling point. The whole place was perfumed with the smell of lilacs, and it just drew me in. The house was built in 1906, and I think that a lot of these lilac bushes are from that time period because most of them are as tall as the house. They're just massive, just walls of lilacs. And I look forward to it every year. My little flock of chickens has dwindled. I'm down to 2 hens and a really, really, really old rooster. So I get 1 egg a day and it's slow going. I'm tempted to go pick up some baby chicks and add to my flock. So we'll see if I actually do that. It's always a chore to get the chicks raised and healthy and actually laying eggs. It takes almost a year for that. But I do love having chickens, and so I probably am going to supplement the flock. Then along with is enjoying the blooms and thinking about what needs to be done around the yard. I really think this year is going to be a total overhaul of the garden. And so we have these beds that were here when we arrived 16 years ago, and then we added some of our own and had a huge garden for many years. But now with the kids gone, I don't grow as much food. I'm more interested in the flowers now. And so I want to relocate some beds. So we're gonna build some beds over the next few days and just start with herbs and my favorite flowers. And then next year, hopefully add in some berries. So I've always loved studying kitchen gardens, French potager gardens, and I love looking at the different layouts. I love aerial shots. I love looking at the fencing and the pathways. There seems to be some consistent patterns with these types of gardens. They oftentimes will have something very round that's central, and then off of an urn or a bird bath or something, there'll be these raised beds, and then different types of paths. There'll be grass or gravel or flagstone or something. I'm just gonna do grass because that's the easiest with my life. And then we're going to build off of an urn that I have with pear trees that I planted, 10 years ago maybe. I planted these pear trees and there's 4 of them. And so it's a perfect place to kind of build this quad. And so we'll do that, and I'll transfer my little baby starts that I have in the greenhouse. You saw me work on that. I was actually planning to do this video, I think for Mother's Day, and I told one of you that I was gonna have this video on the greenhouse out for Mother's Day, and then there was some shifting that happened with the different sponsorships and things, and so I didn't publish it, so I apologize. I don't remember your name, but I did tell you that we were doing it then. So this is the greenhouse. It's just a $300 cheap greenhouse that we painted green and we put together. Colby built tables in here. I got wine crates that I filled with little plants, and it was so much fun to do in the spring. But now everything has sprouted and I am moving them into actual beds. There were 2 things that I would recommend or that I would do differently with my greenhouse scenario that I want to pass on to you. So number 1, it did get mildewy in here. And so right off the bat, I had to figure out a ventilation system and have the door and the window open during the day and then close them at night. But then it got too cold in here at night as well. So I got this heater. It wasn't very much. I feel like it was like $15. And I had this in here at night, and it would turn on, it had thermostat, so it would turn on at night. And then I got an app on my phone so I could see what the humidity and the temperature was in the greenhouse, and that helped a lot. So those are 2 things I would recommend now that as I go into a second year of this. Those are 2 things that I will definitely be doing, is having the heat and the ventilation better controlled. And then I am going to, once I get all of the seedlings into garden beds, I'm gonna come back through and I'm gonna really scrub down these crates and the countertop in here with some bleach water, kill any mold spores, and then I'm gonna put a clear coat sealer on everything. I wish I had done that first. So when all of the little seeds were sprouting in this greenhouse, the first ones to come up were my sunflowers. They came up in about 2 days, and then I had these larkspur, or they're called delphiniums, and they would not come up. And I thought I'd bought bad seeds or something, and I was babying them for over 3 weeks, these seeds, and they weren't coming up. And then finally they did come up. But it reminded me of the scripture 2 Corinthians 3:7, where it talks about some people will plant seeds and some people will water, but it is God who makes things grow. And I've thought of that different times in my life about how, you know, you can be frustrated that you're working on something and it seems like it's working so much better for someone else, or it used to work so much better for you and now it's just not working. And it's just a good reminder that we do our part and then God decides when things are going to grow or if they're going to grow. And so you end up with sunflower, beautiful flower, and delphinium, beautiful flower. So in the end, both can be so beautiful, but in the beginning stages, you can be frustrated that something's taking so long to start. And according to 2 Corinthians, God decides when things are going to grow and how fast they're going to grow. And so it's good for us to separate what is our job and what is his job, and just trusting that in the end it will be beautiful. It was a good reminder of just seeing that in action in my little greenhouse here. I am always so amazed when I get in from working in the yard at how tired I am. All I can think about is going to sleep. One of the things that's helping me so much right now are these Oslo sleep buds. Now these are not AirPods, they're not headphones, they are sleep buds. They are made with this super soft, flexible silicone that fits in your ear, just really, really flat and comfortable. And there's 4 different sizes of these earpieces that you can choose from so you can get exactly the right fit. So you can see how flush that is. And the idea is that you can sleep on your side all night and not have a sore ear in the morning. And the battery life is 10 hours. So that's all night if you'd like. To use, you want to have both sleep buds in the case, and then you sync it with the app. You can check the battery life on the app, but there's 14 different noise masking sounds to choose from. I love them all, but I especially recommend Fire Glow or Misty Rain. You can listen to the noise masking sound, or you can stream your own video or audiobook. And then there's this biometric sensor that can tell when you fall asleep, and then it will switch you over to the sleep masking sound so you're not losing your place in your audiobook. Then when it's time to wake up, they have alarm sounds that you can choose from. My favorite is Peppermint Piano. It sounds like the music that I use on my YouTube videos. And I love that because if I need to get up and I don't want to wake up Colby, I can just have a little sound go off in my ear and it won't bother him. Now, one of my hesitations with using sleep buds or even earplugs for that matter is that I don't want to be completely dead to the world around me. I want to hear my smoke detector. I want to hear if my dog's barking. So I love that I can control the volume within the Oslo app and get just the right amount for sleep versus being too unaware of my surroundings. So I'm really excited to take these on my next trip, and I'm excited that Oslo decided to partner with She Holds Dearly this week. If you want to get the best night's sleep of your life, scan the QR code here, or you can click on the link in my description below and use the code SHEHD. That's gonna get you $10 off your first pair of sleep buds. So to make the beds, I wanted untreated wood, even though I know that we'll probably have to replace these in about 5 years. I like that we're not getting chemicals into the dirt, and some of this has herbs in it that we're gonna eat. So I use untreated wood. I do 12-inch wide boards, and then these boxes are 6 by 6. And we built out from the center urn and measured them exactly out so that everything's spaced really well. A year from now, these are gonna look really weathered and gray, and I think that'll look perfect with the color of the urn. So I knew that we were gonna do 4 beds. That's how we were gonna start. And I figured out which plants were gonna go where, depending on how tall they were gonna be. I put tall things in the middle, and then medium height, and then ground cover below. I have mostly white flowers, but I do have some blue as well, so I tried to spread those out and even those out as well. We'll see how we do. I already have one cosmos blooming, and it's hot pink. It's supposed to be white, so I don't know what I did there, but anyways, so we used 4x4s and then attached the boards to those, set them on the ground. And then the first bed we put cardboard into, but the rest we put down a weed barrier. I think we will be happy that we did that. That'll cut down on the weeding later. And then we picked up some composted topsoil. I'm actually not sure exactly what kind it was. I know that it smelled really strong and the neighbors did not like that. So we put that in, and then to set up the actual planting, I always start with the little pots and I do my design. I lay it all out and I get it the way that I think will look best spaced, and then I come back and I plant each one. Okay, do you remember this? I found this at the bins. I never followed up on what I was gonna do with this, and you guys were so sweet. You gave such good guesses on what my plan was to do with this vine that I found. Okay, my original vision was one of wattle. Do you know what wattle is? It's very, very English, very Parisian as well. And I thought, well, this would be so cool. I'll just, weave it around the base of a raised bed. Well, I don't have even close to how much I need. And also, this is not strong enough to make it through even, I think, one season. So I'm gonna do something else with this. We'll save this for a fall. I've got another idea. We'll do something with this in the fall. But I still love the wattle idea. That's where they take sticks and they weave a fence. It can be short, it can be tall. I love that look. And so you can buy them. Home Depot sells them, Wayfair sells them, but it was really gonna add up for even just 4 beds. It was gonna be a lot. And so then my DIY mind started turning, and I thought, well, I could make them, but I don't have willow branches, and you need a truckload in order to make wattle. So that's out. I'm not gonna do that, although it's in my heart, and someday it's gonna show up somewhere around here. So wattle was an idea. I thought about putting finials on each of the corners of the beds, because that's really cute. You can do square beds, or you can cut off the corners, like this picture here. I think this is really beautiful. I thought about doing that. In the end, I just went really practical and really economical, and Colby put down 2x4s all the way around the edge, just a skinny bench. It looks nice enough, not super fancy, and maybe I will add to the beds later, but it is super practical because I can sit on that skinny little bench and I can do all of my weeding. So that's where we're at with that. So it's time to divide up all of these little starts into actual flower beds, and I've spread all of the flower seeds out on my counter. Oh gosh, they're struggling. These pumpkins have got to get in the ground. And I have a plan. After looking at all the seed packets, I have a plan and how to divide all this out. Number 1, first bed. I studied the heights and the spacing and the colors, and I just started dividing them. I actually set up 4 plates, and I just started dividing the seed packets onto the plates. So now I know how I want to do my 4 beds. Remember when I was working on this greenhouse, I was dreaming of a Hartley Botanic greenhouse from the UK. Look at these things. That's my dream greenhouse right there. So one of the things that I love about the Hartley Botanic greenhouses is they do this trim along the top. I thought maybe I would try to do a little knockoff version. So I ordered this from Wayfair. It's meant to go on a house. You can order all different kinds of designs, like gingerbread looking pieces. I'm not sure how we attach this, maybe with L brackets, and it's not foam and it's not wood, it's something else. I don't know, it is waterproof though. So anyway, I ordered 2 of these, but they're so huge, they're overpowering and I can't return them. So I'm actually gonna sell them to a salvage company this weekend. But then I went back online to find another source and I found these on Walmart. Can you believe that? And they weren't very expensive. This is a much better size, much better scale for this size of a greenhouse. And then we painted it that army green, that Rust-Oleum spray paint that we painted the rest of the frame with. So now I'm gonna put it on top. Now, we have a little bit of a roadblock because the top of the greenhouse is arched. And so I think I'm just gonna take a tool and cut a divot in this thing, and then I'm going to use construction glue and I'm going to glue this on the top and give us just a little bit more character, a little bit more detail. I thought you would like that idea. If you have one of these just totally basic greenhouses that you want to dress up a little bit, I'll put the link in the description below for where to get a little bit more custom look. And then I actually have some weed whacking to do. Colby bought me a weed whacker and it was so cool because I've been wanting one that was battery operated and pretty light so I could control it. Just, you know, sometimes I just look around the yard and I think, I just need that. I need that touched up and I don't want to wait for my son or Colby to do it. And so I just wish I was able to do that. So now I can. So we got this weed whacker and the guy at the store was so nice. I just felt like it was a gift from the Lord to me, just a God kiss, that's what I call it. And he said, well, the box was a little bit damaged, so he gave us $50 off. It was already on sale, and he gave us $50 more off. And then when we went to check out, he leaned over to the checkout guy and he whispered, we thought he just said $50 off, but when we checked out, it was $100 off because it was $200 with the sale. And we went back and we said, we were only supposed to get $50 off and you gave us 50% off. So we owe you $50. And he goes, no, my manager said 50%. So just enjoy your gift. And I'm still thinking about that. I just felt so blessed. I love it when that kind of thing happens. So one of the things that I did not expect to happen was that, I don't know why I didn't think this, but Nala is all over the flower beds that I have planted and she's already torn them up really bad. We've put some spray down, we've put some fences around them. Looks like it's all, you know, baby proofed out there right now. That was not the look I was going for, but it is what we need to do out there. So next year, I definitely think a real fence would be good, but I've got to figure out the design for that. So let me know in the comments below what kind of fence you would put around this area, and I will definitely take all of your thoughts into account. And the only thing that I didn't get put into the beds from the greenhouse were my pumpkins. So I want a French pumpkin patch. I planted 2 different varieties of beautiful heirloom French style pumpkins. And so I didn't have room for those. So I need to figure out where I'm gonna put a pumpkin patch. And I'll get back to you on that. So anyway, I really appreciate you being here and watching this sort of eclectic video this week. I felt like I filmed over several weeks and patched this video together, but it does give you an idea of where we're at with our French summer gardening going on, and I hope you really enjoyed it. If you're new here, please hit that subscribe button so I can send you more videos on how to make your home a sanctuary, and we'll throw in some gardening as well. All right, take care. I'll talk to you soon.
Thank you so much for watching. If you would like more resources, I help women connect and learn more about God in my behind the scenes group and bespoke design retreats. I also help women expand their talents with my Elite Decorating Academy and seasonal decor boxes. I will leave the links to these resources in the description box below.